Hello, and welcome to Bookish Sisters Podcast. I'm Aly.
And I'm Jaime, and we are two sisters who love talking about books.
Today we'll be talking about books that have curse as the main part of the plot.
Mm-hmm. So if you were cursed, obviously you'd want to try and break the curse.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think you'd go about that? What would you do first?
I think I would want to try and figure out who put the curse on me and start there.
Yeah.
And then go from there and try and figure out how to break it.
Yeah, I would definitely want to understand, what my curse is, who cursed me, and then try and figure out how in the world to go about breaking it.
Right, because I feel like in a lot of stories, like they always start with figuring out who it is, because usually they're the only ones that can break it. Mm-hmm. So that just seems like the best place to start.
Yeah.
So do you think it would be worse to be born cursed, or to get cursed later on in life?
I think getting cursed later on in life would be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you were born cursed, that would be all you would know. You would only know, your cursed life. But if you were cursed later on, you would have had a taste of what life was like uncursed.
Mm-hmm.
And
right, you wouldn't know any different.
It would be harder to adapt, I would think.
I would think so, too. So let's play a little game of Would You Rather, Curse Edition.
Oh, boy.
So, would you rather feel constant thirst or have no sense of taste?
Those are both horrible options. I love food too much, so I feel like maybe go with constant thirst.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least then I can taste food.
Well, I've experienced both.
Mm-hmm.
I've had no taste for 6+ months from COVID years ago, so I know that's dreadful. And I literally live with constant thirst every day, so I just stick with that.
I know, when you can't taste things or everything tastes burnt, it's horrible.
It really is.
I would not want that to be my curse. Would you rather know when everyone was going to die and be able to do absolutely nothing about it? Or would you rather constantly hear the thoughts of everyone around you?
Oh, those are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think I really wouldn't want to know when everyone's going to die and not be able to do anything about it. So I think I would probably want to hear all the voices. I would think with time you would be able to learn how to tune some of it out.
Not if it's a curse.
But you might be able to, tone it down.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I would pick hearing everyone's thoughts. At least then you know what people are thinking about you.
That's true.
I guess that's a perk. I would not want to know when people are going to die.
So would you rather be immortal or have every friend you make be destined to betray you in some way?
I think I'd rather be immortal.
But then you gotta watch everyone you love die, because they grow old and you don't.
Also true. Those are horrible. What would you be picking?
I'm really not sure.
I wouldn't want everyone to betray me. But then I also
because you wouldn't be able to trust anybody.
But I also wouldn't want to live forever.
But if you live forever, at least you have the chance to make real connections with people, whereas with the other curse you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's move on. So, would you rather have bubbles fly out of your mouth every time you open it, or summon frogs every time you speak?
Okay, when we're talking summoning frogs, they're not coming out of my mouth.
No, it's just anytime you talk, a bunch of frogs are just going to appear all the time.
Okay, because initially I was thinking bubbles, but if the frogs aren't coming out of my mouth and they're just appearing, I'm going with the frogs.
Really? Every time you talk, frogs are going to appear. You're in the bathroom, frogs are going to appear if you talk. If you're in bed and you talk in your sleep, you're going to be covered in frogs.
Okay, but the bubbles have the potential of being embarrassing. Think you're talking with someone that...
And having frogs appear every time you talk, would it be?
There would be no way to prove that they were coming from me every time
if you're the only one in the room.
If I'm the only one in the room, sure. But then there's no one to witness the frogs.
Well, if you're just having a one-on-one like we are.
Who's to say that they're not summoning the frogs?
They know they aren't.
They don't know for sure.
Now, are the bubbles edible? Are they the kind that sting when they hit your eyes? Or are they jumbo bubbles? That you can travel in? Are they little tiny ones? I need more details.
I feel like it's not going to be anything good.
What if they were jumbo bubbles that were the size of the room, and every time you talk or open in your mouth. It just like a big bubble appears, and then you're like squished against the wall. Do they pop? Are these bubbles like?
I imagined that they would pop.
Oh boy!
I just imagine you're talking to someone and they're like face to face, and you're just spewing bubbles at them as you talk, and like no.
That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't you rather have frogs at that point?
I think maybe, but frogs are kind of gross.
It doesn't say what kind of frogs.
They could be poison frogs. The bubbles could be poison too.
See, now we're just running into all sorts of problems.
It's a curse.
Listeners, tell us what curses you would pick. These are some horrible options.
So, moving into some books. One book that I really liked with a curse was The Other Side of the Mirror by Dana Evyn.
Okay.
It was so good. So the synopsis for this one is, what if the fairy tale was always a lie? 7 years after her family's murders, Eva is attacked by a magical creature and abducted into the fairy realm. When a handsome fae saves her, Bash reveals that he must bring Eva to her fairy soulmate to stop a world-ending curse. She relents, but only for the opportunity to find answers about her parents' death. As their journey progresses, Eva delves into her previously hidden magic and grows steadily closer to Bash. But when she meets her prince, she soon learns that all is not what it seems. While mystery and intrigue surround her, Eva takes it into her own hands to uncover the truth. But what she discovers is beyond her imagination, as she unravels the fae's web of lies. So I really appreciated the use of mirrors in this book, as I feel like it added like a touch of whimsy to the story. It was really, really intriguing.
Oh, this sounds like a good one.
And I really liked the relationship between Eva and Bash. It was kind of like insta-lovey, but it made sense for the story.
Okay.
So I didn't mind it. But it also sometimes felt kind of rushed. But that always happens with insta-love.
I know, insta-love is one of those like things that's hit or miss.
Like, part of me wishes it would have taken a little longer for some of the things to come together between them. But I really loved their relationship. And I also really loved Bash's character overall.
Okay.
Like, he was my book boyfriend.
I feel like you have a lot of those.
I know. So this one had dual point of view.
Okay.
It was forced proximity, found family.
That's one of my favorite tropes.
I know. There was Shadow Daddy, and there was like elemental and celestial magic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This sounds like what I need to read.
I know, I've been telling you.
It's on the list. The never-ending list.
I know, it is a long list.
So do you think it's possible to truly know another person? Or is everyone inherently a mystery with parts of them that forever stay hidden?
I think you only get to know what people let you know. Because I think we all keep parts of ourselves
hidden.
Yeah. Hidden, or at least only known to specific people.
Yeah, like, I don't know that you can truly know someone unless they let you. But, like, even then, I feel like there's always going to be some parts that you don't necessarily know that remain a mystery.
Because I feel like in a lot of situations, you only get to know someone based on, like, the decisions or actions you see from them.
Yeah, or, like, what they're willing to tell you.
Because even if you're not really close with someone, you still see the way they're living their life. And that's the only way you get to know them in those situations.
That's true.
And I also feel like, don't you feel like you can be a different person around certain people?
For sure.
So I'm sure that plays into it too. I don't know why that is.
Well, I don't think that you're like a different person necessarily, but you might show different traits.
I think it depends on how comfortable you are.
Because I know, like, in social situations where I'm not as comfortable, I'm definitely more quiet, reserved, and, like, I don't really engage in much conversation. But, like, if I'm with you or with my husband,
I'll bet you're off.
You get a lot more energy, you get a lot more conversation, and you see a lot more of me in my personality.
Yeah, I can get downright goofy.
Would you marry someone if it would prevent or reverse a world-ending curse?
I think it would depend, like, was I already with someone? Was I already in love? you know?
Yeah. Like, that would be a huge, like, factor in, like, whether or not we'd be willing.
Right. And I also think it would depend on what being married to that person would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they nice? Or are they cruel? You know? Would they have to spend, like, all of your time together?
Yeah, but, like, if it would, like, if not being together would potentially end the world.
There would have to be a great benefit. Like, being with them would have to...
The world would still exist.
Yes, but is it gonna, like, specifically, like, help my family?
Mm.
Or even myself? Is it gonna, like, give me a different status in the society? What kind of world do I live in? Like, there are a lot of factors.
An existing one.
Yeah, but if the world's crap, who cares if it's still existing? And if you're gonna have to spend the rest of your days married to someone that's junk.
Also true.
I don't want to be married to junk.
Me either. But I also don't want the world to end because I didn't do anything to prevent it.
That's true, but...
The guilt you would feel in, like, those ending days.
Yeah, but that's a lot of pressure to put on one person.
It is.
You gotta be married to junk just to save everybody?
No
what kind of choice? It's a curse.
So, one we both recently read and enjoyed
was The Curse of Shadows and Thorns by L.J. Andrews.
And this was the first book in the Broken Kingdom series.
Mm-hmm.
And we did talk about this one in the Beauty and the Beast episode.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to check that one out if you were into Beauty and the Beast retellings.
This one was really good.
It was. I enjoyed this one.
This was my first book reading by her.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was mine too. Or maybe my second one.
It might have been your second one.
I don't know. I've read one or two of her books.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know which order I read them in. At least they're different series.
Right. So the synopsis for this one is: a bargain between enemies, a curse without an end, a love that will bring a kingdom to its knees. Long ago, Elise's ancestors stole the crown from the Fae King. As the niece of a brutal, current king, her purpose is to do whatever is asked to ensure her family keeps the throne for centuries to come. The trouble is, Elise would rather sneak into gambling halls with her servants than be a silent princess at a ball. Soon reckless games are ended when her uncle forces her into negotiations for a marriage, and she refuses. Her deadly ill father will pay the price. Trapped by her sense of duty, Elise is given to the charge of Legion Grey, a handsome and mysterious dowry negotiator. But Legion holds more than her future in his hands. He incites her anger and a forbidden passion. When a coup upends the kingdom, Elise flees with Legion only to discover he holds more secrets than anyone. Unknowingly, Elise sets into motion a beastly curse Legion has endured as long as he can remember. As secrets unravel about Legion's vicious past, questions rise over who has the true right to the throne. When answers come, more lives are put at stake, and Elise is forced to make an impossible choice. Avoid a bloody game by leaving Legion to the beast within, or end his curse and restore magic to the land by sacrificing a life. Hers.
It was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember I was, like, smiling. I was really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much about it, other than, like, what the synopsis said.
And the overall, like, feeling it gave me. And we have really pretty editions.
Yes.
We were lucky enough to be sent, like, stunning copies.
From the Nerd Fam.
Mm-hmm.
So this one has strong characters. You have a bit of forbidden romance. It is a bit of a slow burn.
But it was okay in this one.
It was.
I loved it.
You have hidden identities.
That's always a fun trope.
Mm-hmm. There's betrayal. And then Vikings and Fae. Which, I haven't read a whole lot that has Vikings.
I know. I feel like it might have been my first one.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read too many.
I just remember being drawn to the story right away. And I think that's because there was quite a few elements to the story other than just the romance aspect. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot going on. A lot of it was, like, easy to figure out, but some of it was still surprising.
Yes. And, like, it did have the Beauty and the Beast retelling aspects. But it was such a fresh take where, like, you could see Beauty and the Beast inspired it, but it was its whole new story.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the curse impact the characters in the relationships?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that Elise's motives were pure and Legion's weren't. And, like, with anything, like, certain situations like that, like the curse in this case, wouldn't people have different motivations? And that would alter their choices.
For sure.
So that's, like, the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So do you think you'd trust someone like Legion enough to help break his curse? Or would you leave him to be cursed forever? Especially when you find out that his intentions weren't pure.
You know, I don't know that I would trust him enough to help break the curse.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like, I don't know that I would be able to leave him cursed, like, forever, because if I could help, like, I would feel bad if I didn't at least try.
Right. I can see myself initially wanting to help break the curse. But once I found out, like, that he double-crossed me, or that he had selfish intentions, I would probably regret that decision and revoke, like, my help.
Yeah. So,
like, a girl has a right to change her mind.
Like, I don't know that I would trust him, but I also wouldn't want to feel guilty for not helping him if I could help break the curse.
But I feel like a lot of times in these situations, in these stories, they have to trust the morally gray character in some way, because they're the only person that can help them.
Yep.
And that just makes things interesting.
I don't know that I'd be trusting him.
So another one that I really enjoyed was The Curse of the Siren by S.E. Nielsen.
I loved this one.
So this was book 1 of the Forsaken Deities trilogy.
Are there other books out yet, do you know?
I would imagine so.
I need the rest of them. I forgot about the series, but I need more.
Yeah, it was really good. So the synopsis for this one is, there is but one lesson humans are slow to learn and quick to forget. The Fae lie. When halfway Bronwyn is caught fleeing the scene of a robbery, a Crusader arrow finds its mark. But as a roguish partner in crime, Ian tends to her wounds, a spark between them replenishes Bronwyn's magic, revealing her as part Siren, and quite possibly cursed. Meanwhile, word is spreading to the two thieves and the illegal magic they left behind them. To escape discovery, Bronwyn and Ian accept a dangerous yet tempting job, a wedding heist that leads them to the depths of the Fae realm. But August, the merciless vampire lord of the Selene court, is used to getting what and who he wants. In a land of deception, seduction, and meddling gods, Bronwyn puts her life on the line, only to discover temptation might be her undoing. And time is running out for her to make a choice before she's stuck on the wrong side of a looming war.
Like, I feel like this was one of those ones that I binge read with the goofy grin on my face.
Yes. The elements of forbidden magic, world building, and the overall plot had me completely immersed in the story.
Yes.
Like, from start to finish. And I feel like the author did such a wonderful job at keeping my attention, because it was so fast-moving and action-packed, and it still had enough mystery to keep me guessing what was going to happen next. Which, for me, is sometimes hard to do, because sometimes when there is a lot of action, I get bored. I get bored, which is bizarre, and I know it makes no sense, but that's just how I am.
I was so invested in the story, in the characters, and, like, I was in that world with them.
Yes. And there was, like, a layer of romance and, like, the complexity of the love triangle that was woven into the plot. There was no shortage of romantic components to keep things interesting.
And love triangles are not my favorite
Not
at
mine
all,
either.
But I loved this one. I don't even think I was picking a side. Like, I was, like, I didn't care who she wound up with. I'm just, like, all in, like, loving it. But this one obviously has the love triangle. You have an open door romance, so it has spice.
Which I enjoyed.
You have the morally gray female main character.
Which was interesting that the female was morally gray.
I know, because it's almost always the guy. It's nice when the girl is the morally gray one every once in a while. You have quests, you have limited magic systems, and then you also, it's plot-driven.
Yes. Which isn't always my favorite either.
It really depends. Like, I do love a plot-driven story, but only if I like the characters.
Right. I loved it. I loved the whole thing.
Highly recommend this one.
Yeah.
So how does the blend of magic, mythology like Siren's Fate, and vampires as well as the political intrigue, create the unique world.
I feel like it was a really nice blend of everything, and it created like a really interesting backdrop for the story, and all of the creatures and the different lore was super, super intriguing.
Just like we've seen sirens, fae, and vampires in many different books.
I feel like 90% of the fantasy books behind us.
I feel like they're not always in the same story.
No.
Like, you have one that's, like, heavy on vampires, one that's heavy on fae, some that are, like, siren focused, but never is it just, like, a good mix.
Right.
And, like, it works.
I loved it.
Same.
So what aspects of the world building did you find most captivating or intriguing?
You know, the authors worked with world building, as well as just their overall storytelling, made this incredibly immersive. And, like, I'm not sure if there's a specific aspect that, like, made the world building for me. But I loved it. Like, I love it when I can read a book and I feel like I'm in that world.
I feel like all of the elements surrounding the forbidden magic really help set the tone for this world. So if you had magic, would you use it even if it was forbidden? Or would you risk getting caught by using it?
Like, I feel like I couldn't have magic and not use it.
Wouldn't you? I would just want to know what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be, like, flaunting it out in the world with it being forbidden and all.
Right.
But, like, behind closed doors in my house, yeah, I'm going to be practicing my magic. I'm going to be exploring and trying to figure it out. They don't have to know, right?
So one that I read that I know you would really like, that had similar vibes to this one, was The Divine and the Curse by J.E. Reid. It's a
fae fantasy romance. Now, you've told me so much about this one.
I know.
I need to read it.
So the synopsis for this one is, a queen in hiding, 2 countries at war. When 18-year-old Ariana is stolen from her family and sold into slavery, she spends months disguised as a half-breed fae, struggling against the devastations of a decade-long war. But she never expected to find herself at the mercy of the country's greatest enemy. General Ryan is ruthless and commanding. He relishes in his reputation as the demon, a vile creature incapable of love and compassion. With a secret no one can know, Ariana strives to placate him while plotting her escape. But sometimes fate has other plans and rumors can't always be trusted. She'll have to make a choice. Kill the most feared male on the continent, or stay and let a forbidden bond take root. But what will happen when he discovers her secret?
So, I'm guessing this one's enemies to lovers.
Yes. I love a good enemies to lovers story.
I know, same.
I feel like it's a really common thing in, like, most of the romantasy stories.
Like, why is it so common? And why does it work?
It just does. I mean, what's better than the blend of, you know, good and evil, you know?
Yeah. And just, like, sometimes it's surprising, like, how often and how popular this trope is. Seeing how the characters usually end up, like, they start off as enemies. They're hating one another. And then next thing you know, like, they love one another.
Well, a lot of times they're in a situation that makes them have a like a forced close proximity, and then they end up developing feelings.
So, Ariana's transformation from enslaved princess to powerful leader. How does her experiences with captivity and trauma shape her decisions and her actions?
Well, they seem to be fueled by, like, the want to make their life better. And I think, like, most people in situations like this probably have a similar mindset. Like, you just do what needs to be done in order to improve your circumstances. So do you think being labeled a certain way, like Ryan, with the label of the demon, shapes you? Do you think having past traumas, and in this case, a curse, makes you become a certain way?
I think it definitely would impact you.
I think, like, your life experiences definitely have a profound impact and can alter your, like, personality to an extent.
Yeah, for sure.
Because ultimately, like, you have to choose how to live your life with what you're given.
And, like, circumstances and, like, things that come at you, you don't always get a say.
No.
And, like, you have to adapt.
Yeah, you have to make sure that your circumstances don't make you, like, a permanent grump. And you have to make sure you're not going to make bad decisions just because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorites is Once Charmed, Twice Cursed by Shaylin Gandhi.
That was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a standalone brother's best friend romantasy.
Oh, I loved this one so much. And it was relatively short. So it was like a easy binge read.
You loved this one a bit more than me because I think you gave it 5 stars and I gave it 4.
Right.
But like, it was so cute.
I feel like I was talking about this one forever.
You were.
So the synopsis for this one is, Bria is charmed, blessed at birth with the mark of the fortune goddess. Armed with a divine favor, Bria has survived freak storms, unearthed buried treasure, and secured her family's fortune. Now she has no shortage of admirers clamoring to share her magical luck. Of her hometown's 100 eligible bachelors, 99 have proposed. Only Weston, her brother's best friend, remains silent. He's the only man Bria wants, but he bears the mark of a null, one whose touch can permanently negate her luck. Bria suspects Weston's distances himself to protect her, but he doesn't realize her blessing feels more like a curse, and that what she craves most, even more than him, is freedom from her mark. When Bria's brother arranges her marriage to a rival duke, a masked highwayman kidnaps her en route to the ceremony. It's then she realizes Weston isn't the only null in town. Now Bria's captor holds the key to the life she's always wanted, one that includes Weston and normalcy. If only she can convince the masked man to touch her before her luck runs out for good.
This one had me smiling.
So this one had forbidden love. And I absolutely loved the mutual pining between Bria and Weston.
Yes.
I think that is what made this story for me. I loved it so much.
This one had really good characters and like the dynamic between them. But this one also has touch her and die, which
I love that trope.
It's a good one. And then arranged marriage, which is hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I feel it's the same for me, but it was definitely a hit in this one.
Yes.
For sure.
So how does Bria's charm initially affect her view on herself and her relationships? Does her perception change throughout the story? And if so, how and why?
Well, she hated having her mark, and she wanted to be rid of it and just live a normal life. And she couldn't be with the one she loved and wanted to be with because of her mark.
And like she often felt like used because everyone wanted to use her for her luck. So like she didn't have like trust with anyone, so it definitely like affected her.
Yeah, that would really stink.
You would never know if people wanted to be around you for you or just for your like lucky ability.
Which is something that like celebrities, you always hear them saying in interviews and stuff, that you don't know. They don't know who they can trust and who wants to be with them because they actually want to be with them, or if it's just because of who they are personified as.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that life.
No, not even a little bit.
So if you had the choice, would you prefer to be a charm or a null? Why?
So, like, I like the idea of being a charm and just, like, having, like, that luck. But, like, I wouldn't be able to trust anyone, so maybe I would want to be a null. But if I'm a null, then, like, no one wants to interact with you at all. So, like, either you have everyone want to be around you or no one. Which one's worse?
I don't think I would want to be a charm because I would feel like everyone would be constantly trying to use me. But, like, you wouldn't know who was going to be with you for the right reasons or not, which wouldn't make you feel very good.
No.
So, but I'm not sure that there's much benefit to being a null either. Because you would just cancel out good fortune.
And didn't he have, like, bad fortune of his own?
If I remember correctly.
Like, every day was, like, just a bad day.
Yeah, I don't want either of those things.
So, but, like, if I had to pick, I think I would pick to be a charm.
It sounds better.
It sounds better. I don't think it's going to be much better. But...
And as much as it would stink, wouldn't it make you feel at least a little bit of sliver of happiness knowing that you were able to give someone good luck?
And, like, you could make sure that your family is set and well off. You, like, there would be perks, even if you can't trust anyone around you.
But you'd be so lonely.
You'd be lonely as a null, too.
That's also true. Both those options aren't great. What kind of world is this?
You want to be cursed with good luck or bad luck? Like,
I don't want to be cursed at all.
but like, if you break it down to that simplicity, you're gonna pick good luck over bad.
I would think.
Like, that's the better option. Barely, but...
Barely.
But at least if you have good luck, you can have, like, money and, like, a nice home and stuff. Like...
So another one that I found to be, like, really unique was The Curse of Soulwaker by Sharon Elwood. I know you haven't read this one.
I know. It's been on my TBR ever since we both got it.
I hadn't read anything quite like this one. And I'm really curious to know what you would think.
I picked it up a couple times, but I was not in the mood. Like, I read a couple pages or a couple sentences, and I'm like, I was not in the mood for a fantasy.
Yeah. That's when you know it. You're like, it's not the book, it's me. I'll come back to it later.
It was definitely me.
So, the synopsis for this one is, in the first book of the Soulwaker trilogy, an undead warrior is dragged into the world of magic and prevent an old enemy from controlling her curse, with good and evil endlessly fighting, both around her and within her. Doesn't that sound good?
It does.
It wasn't like anything I've read. So I feel like this one had a unique concept of having the main character cursed from an unfeeling warrior to a mortal who feels remorse for those she once terrorized.
That is interesting.
I know. It was really different.
So this one has a strong female main character.
It was a high fantasy. So there was a lot going into this world.
Yeah. This is one that I'm definitely going to have to be in the mood for a high fantasy. Because, like, there's usually a lot more elements. Rather than, like, the quick, easy, like, romances and stuff. But
there's more thinking involved.
You gotta be in the mood for a thinky book.
Yeah.
This one is heavy in the world building.
Yes. And there was forbidden power.
A cursed army.
Secrets and revelations.
And found family, one of my favorite tropes.
I know, it's one of my favorite too.
I definitely need to read this one soon. So we'll see. How do you think this particular curse shifted the female main character's character?
Well, an enemy controlled her curse. So I imagine that would be motivation for anyone to find a way to defeat the enemy and get freed from your curse.
Definitely. Like,
I would think it would make you really determined and resilient.
I would agree. Dundry is introduced as a villain. Does the narrative successfully evoke empathy for her?
I think it does, because you feel for her, even though she's basically presented as being evil.
I like it when you can, like, feel for and, like, root for the villain.
I love the villains. I always wish I was one.
I don't think I've ever wished to be the villain.
It always seems so fun.
Okay, I will give you that. Being the villain could be fun.
And then I just get, like, the Descendants, chillin' like a villain.
That's what I'm playing in my head all day now.
Sorry. It's there now.
It is. So, the Curse of the Soulwaker takes place in the realm of Nimble. What are your impressions of the world building? How effectively does the author create the sense of place and immerse you into the fantasy world?
I think the author did a really good job at building the world. I felt like it was right there with the characters, and it had, like, such a dark and gritty atmosphere.
Which we don't see that often.
No, but I loved it. It was different. And with as many fantasies as we read, it's hard to make something different a lot of the times. So this one stands out, like, because of that.
I feel like it's hard to make you feel like when you're reading a book that you're in that world. Because I feel like there's only so much that they can do.
Right.
And sometimes you're just like, you're reading it. Other times you're in the book.
I'm always in the book.
I'm always the character.
Does anyone else have that? Where they're reading the book and they are the character while they're reading it? Let us know.
It can't just be us. One of our favorites is Leia Stone's Gilded City trilogy.
I loved this.
Me
I
too.
actually haven't finished the last
How
book.
have you not?
I don't know.
I finished this one. I didn't finish anything.
I left myself hanging and I haven't picked up the last one. I don't know why.
How could you leave yourself hanging?
I don't know.
I left you on a cliffhanger.
I'm gonna have to go back to it.
So it starts out with House of Ash and Shadow.
And the second book is House of War and Bone.
And then it ends with House of Light and Ether.
So the synopsis for this one is, Balin Bane was born with a devastating curse. A single touch from another person will cause her excruciating pain. Thus she has accepted that she will die without ever being kissed, without even hugging her own father, though it breaks her heart every day. But when her beloved father falls ill, she breaks into a magical, gilded city to find a healer fae that can help him. When handsome healer Arion Madden agrees to help, everything she knows about herself and her curse changes, because during her father's healing, Arion reaches out and touches her bare skin. She waits for the agony, but it never comes. For the first time in her life, she imagines a new future for herself. However, that fantasy is quickly destroyed, because not only does Arion flee from her in disgust when he learns of her curse, he also reveals her existence to powerful fae who want to hurt her. Balin is then swept away to a magical academy where she learns the terrifying truth about her family history and her dark magic. Her life and the future of fae everywhere hang in the balance, and all the while, Balin can't help but wonder if she will get to touch Arion one more time before she dies.
So I definitely binge read this trilogy. I bought the first book, and then the moment I finished it, I was doing a Target run for the next book. And I need you to finish it because I need to talk about it without risk of spoiling.
I binge read the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I quickly then read the second one, and then I don't know why I didn't pick up the third.
I don't know why either.
I have it.
You were left hanging.
I was left hanging.
How are you okay?
I don't know, because it's very unlike me. I don't know. Did I get into a slump or something and I just had to read other things and then it's just harder to go back to it?
I don't know.
That must have been what happened, because I don't do that to myself.
I mean, that's something I would do.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
But, I didn't do it this time.
You're a chronic series unfinisher.
I feel like there's a better word way to word that, but yeah.
So I imagine it would be incredibly hard to go through life not being able to be touched without being in excruciating pain.
It would be dreadful.
I'm not even a touchy-feely person. I don't really like being touched or hugged. Really. I just tolerate it when people have to latch on and hug me.
I know you do.
But at the same time, I can't imagine never being able to receive that.
I need the physical touch. I need the hugs, at least from people I know. If I don't know people, it's the problem.
But I know. I feel like you're Velcro sometimes. You latch on and hug me, and I'm just and you just don't let go. Just when is it gonna end? I just allow it because I know you need it.
But to not be able to have that and to be in pain if anyone even touches a hair on my head.
Mm-hmm.
That would be probably the worst curse that we've encountered in this episode so far.
That would be a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you think Arion's reaction to learning about Phelan's curse shaped her character?
Well, I think she changes her view on the curse because she learns that he can touch her.
Mm-hmm.
So, it changes what she knows about the curse.
Mm-hmm.
Because clearly there's at least one person who's immune to,
And she no longer feels completely alone.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that for her.
I know.
Can you imagine never being able to touch your own parents?
No, or a family member.
Anyone you love and care about, you can't even just touch them on the shoulder or
accidentally bump them in a hallway.
Right, anything.
No.
You couldn't even have your mom help you with your hair when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how this works.
No. And then but she is then able to see the future differently because there's a possibility of being touched without pain, even if it's just from that one guy. Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
How did Leia Stone come up with this concept? I wonder.
I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Phelan is thrust into a magical world she didn't know existed. How does she cope with the sudden changes? Learning about her family history and discovering the dark magic.
Well, she kind of just took it in stride and rolled with the punches, which is kind of all she could really do in that situation.
Yeah, like, there wasn't much else she could do except go with it and try and figure her life out.
I mean, that's all you can do, like, in any situation. You're given what you're given, you just have to make it work. I mean, sometimes you can do things to improve your situation, but initially you just kind of have to deal with what... Because nothing has changed immediately.
No, it's just, you figure it out, you learn to adapt, and you hope for the best.
That's all you can do. If you had a curse, do you think that you would be, like, positive or negative about it?
I would start out negative, for sure. I feel like eventually, like, I would come to terms with it and have, like, more of a positive outlook on it. But, like, the first bit would definitely be, like, I would be grumpy, and I would not be happy. I would probably be angry.
It would probably come in waves for me. Just like with anything. When you feel good, you're happy. When you don't feel good, you're grumpy. You know? I imagine you would have waves of emotion that feel similarly.
I would agree.
So, we've read other works by Leia Stone. How does the Gilded trilogy compare to her other series?
So, I like The Sponge just as well as her other works. Although, I'm not sure that this trilogy is necessarily my favorite of hers. Like, but I loved it all the same. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me.
But, like, reading this trilogy, I had a smile on my face, and I was feeling for Fallon and, like, her curse. And I wanted life to be better for her.
Well, I feel like all of the books that I've read by her have been great, like, bingeable, quick reads that usually leave off on a cliffhanger.
Yes.
I'm anxiously awaiting the next book. And this series was, like, the same way. Even though it left me on a cliffhanger and I still haven't finished, I still want to finish it. And I went out and bought it immediately. Like, I have the final book.
I think these ones new.
I did too.
Like, I don't buy, like, hardly any books new. Like, I'm always looking at these bookstores and, like, discount stores. But for me to go out and, like, buy it brand new at a store full price, like, that's how you know she's, like, a favorite author.
Right. So, our new favorite comfort read
is The Cursed Princess Club by LambCat.
Oh, I love this series so much.
It is a very cute graphic novel series.
And it has 5 volumes. The 5th volume comes out in November.
Which may or may not be after this episode airs.
That's true. So maybe all 5 volumes are out by now.
But highly recommend it. It will leave you with a smile on your face. And it's just a happy, feel-good story.
And it has such a good message. So the synopsis for this one is, just because you're cursed doesn't mean you're not special. Gwendolyn, the youngest of the king's 3 daughters, is living proof that princesses don't always have it all. She isn't like a typical fairy tale princess or other princesses in the Pastel Kingdom. Gwendolyn, with her big heart and love of baking, isn't particularly attractive. Unlike her sisters, who have a woodland creatures do their hair and makeup, or have flowers blossom wherever they sleep, Gwendolyn is a bit different. So when her father proposes marriage for her and her sisters to make an alliance with the Plaid Kingdom, it breaks Gwendolyn's heart to hear that Prince Frederick thinks that she's really ugly. Overwhelmed and ashamed, she runs away into the forest and encounters a twisted world of the Cursed Princess Club, where her life will never be the same.
So what is your favorite thing about this series?
It has such a strong sense of found family. And it's a really good mix of, like, humor and heartfelt moments. Like, this series has my heart.
For me, it's the characters and, like, the found family aspect. But, like, there isn't a single character in the story that I don't love.
I know, but Gwendolyn is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, she is easily, like, one of my top 5 main characters, like, in all my favorite books.
And, I mean, we both read graphic novels fairly often, but I can't say that I've ever felt a kind of connection to a graphic novel series like I have with this series.
Yeah, like, there are a few that I feel I need to keep on my shelf after I read them. But this one, it will never be leaving my library.
No, they're like prized possessions.
Like, I will always recommend it happily. Like, even if graphic novels are not your thing.
You should love the story.
Mm. And, like, the artwork, too.
I know, it's so pretty. And I love, like, all things fairy tale and princessy, which is initially what grabbed my attention with this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever, and I couldn't stop talking about it.
I know, you were telling me about it for a while before I finally picked it up.
I feel like it was at least a year or two.
Mm-hmm. And then I started finding them, like, at the used bookstores. And
even
like,
at Ollie's, we've seen them.
So, how do you think Gwen's differences from her siblings play into the story?
Well, I think the whole stories pretty much revolve around Gwen and, like, how she's different and trying to find herself. And then she finds solace in knowing that she's not the only one different when she finds the Cursed Princess Club.
Yeah, and I think people expected her to be more like her siblings. So, like, those comparisons impacted how she saw herself. Mm-hmm. And that's when she started feeling insecure and seeking out the Cursed Princess Club. Mm-hmm. And trying to be able to accept herself. How do you think the different curses affect the characters and their interactions with one another?
Well, they can't all interact with each other in the same ways. Like, for example, the head of the club turns into a man-eating spider. And she can't be around all the other characters, like, at certain times of the month. She has to be, like, locked in a barn.
Yes.
And basically they have to accept each other's differences and accommodate accordingly in order to be, like, around each other.
Yeah, it was really interesting seeing all those different curses and how they, like, affected one another. And, like, with them all being cursed, they had a better understanding of each other than, like, outsiders did.
Right, because it wasn't, like, in the Pastel Kingdom, it was all based on, like, your appearance. It wasn't the case with the Cursed Princess Club.
No, they got to know one another and their personalities, and they each had their, like, their differences and their curses. But at the end of the day, they were there for each other.
They accepted one another. It was just so beautiful.
It was. So what changes did we notice in Gwen when she discovered the Cursed Princess Club?
I think she became more confident, and she started to accept that she's different than her sisters and her brother.
And that was okay. And, like, she began accepting herself. And, like, it's okay that not everyone sees you the way, like, in positive light.
And it was sad to know, because in the beginning of the story, she didn't have those, like, self-conscious moments.
Yeah, she thought she was as pretty, and, like, she was so confident in herself. And then, like, the moment
someone pointed it out, then she
called her, like, ugly and stuff, that's when she started seeing cracks in the mirror in her reflection.
It was so sad.
It was. But the Cursed Princess Club really helped her learn that that's okay, and you can accept yourself, and you don't have to be as pretty as everyone else. Because it's what's inside that counts.
It may sound cheesy, but it was delightful.
What role does the Cursed Princess Club play on the overall narrative?
It's where Gwen accepted herself, even if those around her didn't. Okay. So do you think that the way outsiders viewed and treated Gwen changed her at all?
Definitely. Like, when outsiders viewed her differently, that's when she started feeling the insecurities. But she started out being so sweet and so confident, and then we saw her kind of go downhill and be, like, you know.
I love how she was so nice to everyone, even though she was not being treated nicely all the time.
I know, she was just the sweetest character. She was baking, like, food, and, like, everything she did was so thoughtful.
Even sending gift to, Frederick?
Like, she was probably the most thoughtful character that we've probably encountered in so many books.
And, like, a little off topic, but I thought her brother is what brought so much humor to the story.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't see him an awful lot until later in the series, But, like, so many funny things were happening.
And I feel like he was never wearing clothes.
I know.
And I'm just like, why? Why is this a thing?
But it had you laughing.
And then he was always mistaken for the third princess. And I was just like, it was just really funny.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Bookish Sisters Podcast. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and whatever streaming platform you're listening to us on. Make sure to tune in on December 22nd for our Trader Wolf episode. Happy reading!